Welcome to the 3030 Report.
Hello, our listeners, and welcome to my lovely co-host, Bambi.
Hi, guys, and welcome to another week of the 3030 Report.
It's springtime! It's finally springtime. I love the warmer months.
Finally, how beautiful have the last few days been? It looks like sunshine for the foreseeable future.
Woohoo! I've been sitting at my desk at work, just staring outside, looking at the sun amongst all the blooming trees, like, come on, spring!
I feel you. I've been doing the exact same thing.
But with spring brings, well, everybody, what is that horrid time of the year? Spring cleaning.
Horrid, speak for yourself.
Well, do you spring clean, Bambi?
Yeah, about once a fortnight.
So it's more of a fortnightly spring clean rather than a seasonal spring clean then?
Yes, one thing most people do not know about me is that I'm a bit of a neat freak.
She is actually, ladies and gentlemen. Bambi's the sort of freak that you need to hold back from your vacuum cleaner.
Exactly. I have been known to walk into other people's houses and vacuum their floors.
Now, trust me, I have two St. Bernards that just shed hair all year long, and the first thing she does is vacuum my lounge room.
I can't help myself.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, spring is in the air. Let's check out the headlines. Werribee Gorge full. Multiple emergency services were on the scenes after reports that a man had fallen at Werribee Gorge on Friday afternoon. A man believed to be in his 50s was at a popular climbing site, Falcon Lookout, when he came into trouble around 2:45 p.m. After surviving a 9-metre fall, the man was able to alert authorities of his location. Local CFA volunteers were called to the scene to help with the very delicate air operation. Once the rescuers were able to reach the man, he was airlifted to the Alfred Hospital, where it was reported he suffered lower leg injuries and a broken ankle.
Wow, that's terrible and amazingly lucky he survived.
I imagine yourself and probably many of our listeners, Bambis, would have know that area quite well. I went out and had a look this week, and it's a very high fall full of loads of rocks and jagged edges. He's one strong man.
He sure is. I'm honestly surprised he survived the fall, let alone escape with so few injuries.
Very, very lucky.
I'm sure we all remember the horrific tragedy that happened back in April 2015 when Akon Guo drove her car along with her 4 children into the lake at Wyndham Vale.
How could anybody forget that? It was horrific.
Last year, she was on trial and pled guilty to the murder of her 3 children and the attempted murder of the surviving child. She was sentenced to 26 years and 6 months jail. At a recent appeal last month, Akon Guo's sentence was downgraded to 18 years jail. The 39-year-old will now serve a minimum of 14 years jail before she's eligible for parole. The Victorian Supreme Court previously heard Guo had suffered severe psychological trauma from the civil war in South Sudan after watching her husband being murdered. The court appeal said it accepted the balance of Guo's mind was disturbed after the birth of her youngest child, but the sentence was manifestly excessive. Major depression impaired the applicant's capacity to exercise appropriate judgment and her capacity to think clearly and make calm and rational choices, they said.
It's such a tragic story, and I'm sure that one that will haunt those involved for years to come. Werribee Mercy Hospital grand opening. Representatives from the hospital and Mercy Health were joined by Health Minister Jill Hennessy, Werribee MP Tim Pallas, Laylaw MP Joanne Ryan, and Wyndham Mayor Peter Maynard for the opening ceremony. Miss Hennessy said the hospital expansion would deliver world-class clinical care to patients. This is a very special moment for Mercy Hospital and Melbourne's West, she said. The state government contributed $85 million to the hospital's expansion, which includes 4 additional levels on the top of the existing Catherine Macaulay Centre, As part of the expansion, the hospital has 6 new operating theatres, 56 additional inpatient beds, 8 new critical care beds, and a central sterilising department. The expansion has risen the number of beds at the hospital to 298. Mercy Health Group Chief Executive Professor Stephen Corneliuson said that the hospital also had a new intensive care unit.
The expansion of Werribee's only public hospital delivers not only additional physical capacity but also enhanced capability and care to more acutely unwell patients, he said. Having an intensive care unit within the hospital will enable us to grow our services over time, which is an exciting prospect for Mercy Health and for the rapidly growing Wyndham community.
Mr. Corneliuson said Mercy Health contributed $6 million to the project. The Mercy Health Foundation, along with the Werribee Hospital Foundation, ran a community fundraiser campaign to raise $2 million to help fit out and equip the new IC unit. The appeal surpassed its $2 million goal by more than $4,000. Many Wyndham groups and businesses contributed to the appeal, along with the Freemasons Foundation Victoria and the Gandale Foundation.
Werribee teens arrested over Airbnb incident. 2 Wyndham teenagers have been arrested after police foiled a potential out-of-control party at an Airbnb property in Melbourne's inner southwest. The owner of the Williamstown premises cancelled a booking on the weekend after receiving advice from police it may have been a fraudulent booking. However, officers believe 5 people still managed to get into the property in the early hours of Sunday. Police patrolled the area over the weekend and ordered several groups of young people to move on without any reported incidents. 2 18-year-olds from Tarneet and Truganina have been arrested and interviewed in relation to the theft, criminal damage and trespass. They have since been released pending further inquiries.
Wow, kids are getting very creative these days, aren't they?
They sure are. When I was a teenager, there was none of this booking an Airbnb stuff. You had to wait for your parents to go away, and then you could have an epic house party.
Very true. But the internet, I guess, these days just allows children to hide behind a mask.
It does.
They can use their parents' credit cards, jump online, book something, make it look like a romantic weekend for grandma, and in actual fact invite 20, 30 kids along.
Exactly. And with Facebook, they just create an event, make it public, and who knows how many people will turn up.
It's actually quite innovating. Like you said, back in our day, it was word of mouth, and if you didn't know the right people, you didn't get invited.
Exactly.
I lived in a small country town called Kyabram, and we'd have epic parties, but it would take months and months to gather and organise, and there would be a set date, and you would have to wait it out just so you could get the word out.
Exactly, and if the parents found out beforehand, it was all over.
Yeah, it was a shut it down, spread the word, shut it down. Actually, it's amazing how much faster the shut down word spread than come to the party.
It is, isn't it?
Well, that just shows you, ladies and gentlemen, kids these days can outsmart us every time. And that brings us to the end of our headlines.
Westside Speed Dating is a perfect way to meet someone local. Once you arrive, our friendly host will greet you at the door and show you around. Enjoy the music, nibblies, and the inviting atmosphere as you mingle with local singles. Perfect event for ages 24 to 55 with 4 different rooms to pick from. So head over to westsidespeeddating.com.au and register today for your exclusive invitation.
Join Bandy and P for the 30-30 report.
What time it is, Bambi?
What time is it, P?
It's showtime! The Royal Melbourne Show!
This year's Royal Melbourne Show starts on the 22nd and runs through to the 2nd of October.
Oh, I love the Royal Melbourne Show! I love any show for that matter. when I was a child, my parents would take my sister and I. We used to get up super early, get ready, drive to the Flemington Showgrounds where it's still held today.
In fact, it's been held there for more than 150
Whoa.
years. The Royal Melbourne Show is an agricultural show held each year in September, organised by the Royal Agricultural Society of Victoria, and has been running since 1848.
Oh, we used to drive around for what felt like hours and hours as a kid, looking for a park. Most of the times we would end up in someone's front yard for the day, paying only a fraction of the price. It was great fun.
I know, I haven't been to the show in years.
Oh, I love the show. I go every year, and now I have nieces. It just makes it so much more fun. I love the sparkly wigs, like the tinsel. Every year I have to get a tinsel wig.
I probably haven't been for a good, at least probably 8 years. I think the last time I went with you.
Well, unfortunately for you, that leads us into... Bambi's Lemon! So this week, Bambi, I wanted to test your Royal Melbourne Show knowledge.
Oh, Lord, here we go.
Now, for somebody who says they haven't been in 8 years, this could be interesting. All right, so I have a list of categories that I want you to answer as many answers as you can think of. So, for example, a question could be like, name as many soft drinks as you can.
Oh, yeah.
So, Coke, Pepsi, Solo, Fanta, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah,
as
so
many times as you can.
Just as many answers I can get
as
into
many answers
in the
as you
time.
can get in the 10-second time I'm going to give you. Okay? So, are you ready for your first question?
All right, let me have it.
Here we go. So, Bambi, can you name as many rides as possible at the Royal Melbourne Show?
The Mad Mouse, the pirate ships, the Cha-Cha, the Ferris wheel, the merry-go-round, I don't know.
Time's up. Okay, so she got 6, ladies and gentlemen. That's not too bad, considering there's been about 1,000 rides at the show. What about the Ranger and the Rainbow?
That's what I mean, I couldn't remember the names.
Cars?
I haven't been there in a long time.
All right. This next one is easy. What animals could you expect to find at the Royal Melbourne Show?
Cows, chickens, lambs, sheep, cats, dogs, horses.
All right, that was pretty good. You got 11 that time. That was a pretty good one. So basically, all the animals in the world are at the show, aren't they? If you can think of a farm animal, it's there. Yeah. You've got your cows, your horses, your sheep, down to your little itty bitty guinea pigs. Oh my God, have you ever been to a guinea pig show?
Yes, so cute.
All the guinea pigs of the world. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have not seen the guinea pigs, get there this year.
You have not lived.
All right, next category. Name 10 chocolate show bags. Go.
Freddo Frogs. What's the Bertie Beetles, Cadbury. I don't know. Darryl Lee.
I'll give you Darryl Lee, but come on, 5. You could have went Snickers, Mars bars, Cherry Ride, Picnic. Like you could have just named chocolate bars. They all have their own show bag. All right. You can tell this girl has not been to the show in 8 years.
I spent too much time trying to remember Bertie Beetle because it's iconic.
You did.
And it's my favourite.
All right. Now, this one's kind of easy. What kind of food could you find at the show?
Hot dogs, pies, fairy floss, donuts, Slurpees, lollies, chocolate, chips.
Oh, she was pushing for it there. What about hamburgers? And all the different ethnicities that you can find at the show now. You can get fried rice and you can get dim sims and you can get curries and you can get everything.
So it's one thing you get curries at
well,
the show.
have you not been there? They have all these
Not
little
in 8
foods.
years.
Well, apparently not, ladies and gentlemen. All right. So this question is just a basic question that only has one answer. All right. What is the famous food in the sky?
The pie in the sky.
Yes!
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, she got that one.
I don't know if you guys know this, but my family nickname is the Pie Eater because I can tell you where to get all the best pies in Australia.
Well, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. That was another episode of
Bambi's Lemon.
The 3030 report will be right back.
Are you after some outrageous and offensive midweek fun? Footscray Adult Bingo every Wednesday night at Pride of Our Footscray Community Bar. Hosted by the hilariously crass Miss April Latrine. They've got prizes, drink specials, and delicious dinner specials, so don't miss out. Cash prizes, drink prizes, and amazing sponsored prize packs courtesy of AK Fantasies to be won. So get your life on a Wednesday night at Pride of Our Footscray Bar.
The 3030 report. Everything West.
Hey P, what kind of books did you like as a teenager?
Oh, I guess I'd have to lean more towards anything Roald Dahl as a kid.
Yeah. I think as a teenager, my favourites were The Secret Diary of Adrian Mole.
Yes, the
And-
Goosebumps. I enjoyed all those books as a teen.
And I loved a series by Louise Renison called Angus Thongs and Perfect Snogging.
Ooh.
That's where my cat's name, Angus, came from.
I thought you were going to say that's where my perfect snogging skills came from.
No, that's where my cat's name came from. Because they had a big Scottish wildcat named Angus.
Oh, yes. Well, that's very suiting to your kitty.
Yes, very suiting for Gus.
No, definitely. No, I enjoyed some books. At school, they made us read Tomorrow When the World Began.
Oh, yes.
So I was quite
yes.
excited as a young adult when that came out as a movie.
My favourite book from school was Looking for Ella Brandy.
Yes, we read that at school as well.
I still read that now.
The
and
movie
watch
does
the
not do it
movie.
justice. Not
No,
at
it
all.
doesn't. But
Doesn't at all.
That is one of my favourite movies of all time too, because it's a great
Oh,
Australian
it definitely
movie.
is. Definitely a fantastic movie, but the book, just a notch better.
Definitely. And that leads us into what's on the West this weekend. Friday Night Fiction, Teen Book Club. Come along to Friday Night Fiction, Point Cook's special teen-only book club. Meet new friends, check out the latest books, and participate in different book-themed activities each month. Snacks are provided, but bookings are required. Friday Night Fiction meets the first Friday of every month at the Point Cook Library from 4:30 to 5:30.
This is awesome. So it's a monthly event.
Yes, and September's theme is reading outside the comfort zone.
Ooh.
That sounds fun though, doesn't it?
It does, and this is solely for teens.
Yeah.
So another good idea for the kids.
Exactly.
It's a Friday night activity, so it gives you an hour to nick down to the shops while you've got your late night shopping, and you can drop your kids off at the library, and everybody can enjoy their evening.
Exactly.
What a fantastic idea. What else you got?
So this Saturday we've got Ethiopian New Year's Festival
Woo!
2018.
Love a good festival.
So and this one sounds like fun.
Okay.
The Ethiopian New Year occurs in September according to the Julian calendar and celebrates the spiritual and cultural life of the Ethiopian people with their family, friends, and the broader community.
I love it.
Come and enjoy this community celebration with cultural activities including traditional live music and dancing, traditional food, yum, kids shows, circus acts, a fashion parade, and spiritual blessings by Ethiopian churches, a coffee ceremony, and more. Saturday, the 8th of September, from 12 p.m. to 5 p.m. in the Nicholson Street Mall in Footscray. Everybody's welcome.
And it sounds like they've catered for everybody as well. Because I know my husband will totally enjoy the food.
Yeah.
Myself, well, the fashion show sounds right up my alley. And then all the circus acts and kids shows, it's really got something for everyone.
It does, and it's free, so if you're looking for something free to do on Saturday afternoon.
Nicholson Street Mall, Footscray.
So this Sunday, we've got this colour splash to protect kids. This is a family-friendly 5K walk or run. Come along with your whole family, wear white, and watch as you become a walking rainbow while proudly raising money for Bravehearts Australia. Educating, empowering, and protecting our children from sexual abuse. Sunday, September 9th, 9am to 11am at the Arndale Community Centre. $20 to enter or $60 for families.
Oh, I love a good fun run as it is.
And
but
it's a
let
colour
alone
run too.
A colour run. The kids will enjoy it so much. This used to be a really adults-only event back in the day. They really only ever advertised it for adults. So the fact that you can take the kids along and just experience that rainbow of colour.
And such a good cause.
How
too.
much fun would it be? So definitely check out the Braveheart Australia's Colour Splash 5K walk.
And this brings us into our newest segment.
Ooh.
So what have you got for us this week, Post Lady P?
This week, I had a chance to sit down and go through some of our emails our listeners have sent in with shout-outs for amazing services and wonderful recommendations.
Ooh, what do you got? What do you got?
Dally Mack from Kialba had a wonderful experience this week. Marlon, the pathology nurse at the Kialba Family Clinic on Sunshine Road, has taken blood from me twice. Not only is she a delightful woman, but the gentlest pathology nurse I've come across in the last 7.5 years. The first time I didn't even feel it, and the second time she drew from my left arm, which no other nurses will touch, and it was painless and quick. If you live local and need to get a test done, go down and see Nurse Marlon.
Isn't that lovely?
That
and
really
helpful
is.
too. That's not too far from me, so I know who I'll be going to see for my next blood test.
And it's a very stressful situation getting your blood drawn.
Oh, I hate it. I hate
Exactly right. Some people absolutely
it. And I
hate
have to get it done all the time.
So that's a fantastic shout out. Thank you, Dally Mac. Keep them coming. Another listener, Meg L from Altona, wrote to us this week after an incident at the Altona beach. Meg was walking her dog when her dog managed to escape out of his harness, and in all the craziness, a lovely gentleman helped Meg catch her dog and get him back to her car. With all the commotion, Meg forgot to ask his name. So, Mr. Unknown Gentleman, walking your dog at 4 p.m. on Sunday at Altona Beach, we would love to thank you for your generous efforts.
That's got to be one of every dog owner's worst fears, doesn't it?
It really does. I have 2 giant dogs and 2 tiny dogs, and doesn't matter how big or small they are, I'm terrified they'll get out of their harness.
Well, thank you again, unknown gentleman. Meg was very lucky and grateful that you were there to help. What a brilliant and perfect example of great community efforts. Keep your emails coming in, guys. We loved hearing from you.
We really do. And that brings us to the end of today's show. So make sure if you have your shout outs or any recommendations or even any leads or tips on some news stories happening out in the West, you hit us up at the 3030report at gmail.com. Don't forget to like us on Facebook and subscribe to us on YouTube.
Thanks very much, guys. See you next week.
Bye!